I'm here with Ivan Court, and he is running for mayor, a councillor, a very vocal councillor, cares a lot about the city. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your vision for the future of St. John, and more so on your campaign platform. So I'll just let you speak to that.
Okay, my campaign platform is there is a better way. There's a better way of providing services. There's a better way of communicating with people from all walks of life. There is a better way in service delivery. We need a communication strategy. These are type of things that we need. If there is going to be an energy boom, we have to make sure we are not leaving people behind. Energy costs are going up, so is the cost of housing, so is affordable housing, the need for more affordable housing. We have 1,000 people on a waiting list for nonprofit housing. I mean, in a city that's the largest one in the province, we can't have that situation continue. We have to get people into homes that they can afford. We have to provide an education for their children that will get them out of the cycle of poverty.
Council itself is definitely a complex structure of characters and personalities. How do we get to a place where it's more positive, and so that, well, sometimes people even ridicule it, and how do we get to a place where people see it as a board that's working together to push agendas forward?
Citizens who are elected as council members have to start thinking of the fact that we have one city, we have one population, and we have to work together for the betterment of all. Regardless if I live in Ward 1, 2, 3, or 4, I have to look out for the citizens who live in the opposing wards. Opposing, I use that word because when I went around and listened to the meetings that were held basically for candidates, they're starting to talk about, well, we're going to fight for this area, well, ignoring the other areas. No, we're one city. We may be divided into 4 sections where they're going to be ward councillors, but at the end of the day, we have to have the fundamental principle: we're going to do best what's best for all citizens in the city of St. John.
If you were to pick 3 things and prioritize them, I know it's a tough question, but 3 things that you really want to deliver, what are they?
Well, it's very simple. My major platform is safety. We need safe water. We need safe streets. We need protection of homes, so fire and police. You need policemen if people are breaking into your homes and so on, so you have to feel, or you're walking uptown, that you have safe streets. We need fire protection to protect that part of it. We need safe drinking water. So safety is a number one. It encompasses all of that. If you have a safe community, people will get out and meet their friends and neighbors. They'll shop more. They'll be interested in being downtown in the evening and so on. If we establish a safe city, and I mean you turn on your tap and you have safe, clean drinking water. You walk down the street, you're not worried about being mugged. You go to the playgrounds. We have safe playgrounds and improved playgrounds for our children. Those are what citizens are looking for. The average citizen wants to be able to walk out in their backyard and not worry about being hampered by somebody who wants to harm them. So that's the real issue in St. John. There are things that we have to do. We have to convince 2 other levels of government that 8 cents of every tax dollar is not enough to run a city, town, or a village. That is a message. I serve on the FCM, Federation of Canadian Municipalities. 2,200 cities and towns and villages have told the federal government we have a $123 billion deficit that deals with roads and infrastructure. The city of St. John would never have enough money in its lifetime, even with tax collection, to fix 1,100 kilometers of roads and sidewalks in the city with 68,000 people footing the bill. It's not possible. When a $1 tax is collected, 48 cents goes to the federal government, 46 cents goes to the provincial government, and 8 cents comes to the city of St. John. That's not fair. It's not sustainable. And the gas tax was a good example that the federal government realized that we have to start helping cities. We're looking for another new deal from the federal government that will allow both the federal and provincial government. We're talking about building water treatment plants. On our 8 cents, we can't do that alone. Those other 2 levels of government have to come to the plate and put more on the plate. They're asking us to put a third share in. It's impossible with 8 cents. It's a lot easier to put their third in when they're talking 48 cents or 44 cents, whatever it happens to be. we're saying, and so is every other city in this province and in this country, the federal government and provincial governments have an obligation to take care of those citizens that the first order of government has to represent. We're the first order of government. We don't have control. We're a creation of the province of New Brunswick. The province has to make sure that we have an allowance that will meet our needs, not just our wants.
Excellent. The youth vote is important in this election, and is it there? Is it are the youth engaged, in your opinion? And if not, why?
Well, I taught political science. I actually introduced political science to St. Malachy's High School in 1980. And I had every politician in the country come in, and we did surveys. We had John Crosby admit that he never read the Free Trade Agreement, that his only responsibility was to sell it. He read a 10-page summary. I had Deborah Gray come into my classroom. We had people from the Free Trade, people who were actually working on the papers for the Free Trade Agreement. I've had Elsie Wayne, every provincial politician you can think of. I've had premiers into my classroom. We got heavily engaged, and those students that I taught over 33 years have a good knowledge base. They are now adults. Their children were engaged when they were in the classrooms. The university professors have them engaged. I know the youth are engaged now because we've had protests. The UNB students had a protest. I marched with those protests. I marched down King Street. I stood in front of people that I have a liking for, but I was telling them what you're doing now is wrong. And you need a leader in this city who's not willing to say there's a right way of doing things and there's a wrong way. There's been a number of mistakes made, a number of decisions that I could support if it was done in the proper manner. The process is not being done properly. We talk about public consultation. You just can't come along and say we're going to change things immediately. You have to have that consultation. You have to know what the impact is going to be on your community. Without UNB here in St. John, half of our population wouldn't get a university education. I grew up that way. I grew up in the North End, a blue-collar family, the oldest in my family. My only contribution to my family, and it included all my relatives, was they had a party for me and they raised $200 for me to go to university in Fredericton. I worked from the age of 14 right up until the present time. My father told me about hard work. He just taught me about being stubborn, and if you wanted a goal, you had to work for it. My mother taught me compassion. Those two ingredients make me the person I am, and I'm willing to defend and fight for those who are less fortunate, and I've been doing that my entire life, and I'll continue doing it if I become the new mayor.
Why Ivan Court for mayor? Just quickly, why?
Well, the reason is I have a blue-collar background, a work ethic that comes from that blue-collar background. Having worked at the Port of St. John, the City of St. John, I worked at CP Express, Princess of Acadia, fished in the harbor. I have that work ethic. I've worked in my entire life. I have the educational background. I have 3 university degrees. I serve on provincial and national bodies. As president, secretary, treasurers, I'm the vice president of industrial parks. I'm the president of Friends of St. Joe's, a healthcare issue. I served on more than 27 committees. At the present time, I serve on 24 committees. 3 of them deal with finance, both at the provincial, city, and national levels. I have the experience, 10 years of experience. I have the education and the work ethic. Those 3 components make me the candidate that people should be looking at. I am not anti-business. I've never been anti-business. To ask for fair taxation is not anti-business. I'm not anti-Irving. But people are saying I'm anti-Irving. That's ridiculous. I voted against the tax deal. I voted against the route because it affected citizens. The route affects their quality of life when a pipeline runs through it. I said, if you're going to have a pipeline, it should be under the bay, a different direction of safety. I was the only municipal politician in the province of New Brunswick, not only in the city of St. John, who went to the NEB hearings and spoke for 13 consecutive days. I was there from 10 in the morning till 10 at night, if necessary. And I was the only municipal politician. There was another provincial politician. It was Abel LeBlanc. And Abel and I are of the same type of mold and so on, same cloth. We are willing to stand up when we see something is wrong, and we're willing to tell our friends it is wrong and we want it fixed.